OCA, Asian Pacific American Advocates, is a national nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing the social, political, and economic well-being of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. Based in Washington, D.C., with over 50 chapters around the country, we engage in issues like immigration, education, and fair treatment, among many others. We also provide resources and programs in order to build a pipeline of AAPI leaders so that our community can have a seat at every table.
Hey y'all, it's Keisha. OAC Greater Houston and I are going to be collaborating on this year's Lunar New Year. We're talking tarot, covering karma, and all things spiritual. If you want to book a session, check out our Eventbrite page from February 12th to February 27th. I'll see you there.
For the remainder of 2020, OCA Greater Houston's citizenship forums will be virtual. Please help us facilitate the process by filling out your application on Citizenship Works platform. Go online to citizenshipworks.org/portal/Houston and make sure to fill out all the information possible. If you have any questions, please email erica.chambers@ocahouston.org or call 281-968-9131 for the next steps. Make sure to fill out your application so you can join us online for the virtual visit.
Happy Lunar New Year. So in 2021, we want to continue showing our support to all of our artists from Starry Night Arts Fest in 2020. So today we have Terrence Tang's sweatshirt from his Humankind collection. To win this, you can tune into OCA Greater Houston's Lunar New Year programming, or you could visit his website at tinlinstudio.com to purchase it and support Terrence. All right, thank you so much.
I want to personally share that I'm continuously learning and recognizing my own place in history of colonization, working to unlearn any action behaviors that may silence others or perpetuate systemic oppression. I want to take part also and encourage all of you to uplift and connect with the cultural legacies that existed and continue to exist here today. Within the festival theme of giving, and this is a part of the Starry Night Arts Festival, we mentioned that we want to give space to unheard voices. This is our first step in honoring that throughout the festival. We acknowledge that we occupy stolen land. The lands that make up Texas are home to the Alabama Coshada tribe of Texas, the Kickapoo traditional tribe of Texas, the Isleta del Sur Pueblo, the Lipan Apache tribe, and the Texas Band of Yaqui Indians. There are many more groups in Texas that are not mentioned, which means they are excluded from financial aid and resources. We acknowledge the many systemic erasure of these tribes and recognize they are still among us today. We acknowledge the peoples of these nations, their cultures, their communities, their elders, both past and present, as well as their future generations. We acknowledge and offer deep gratitude to the land and waters on which we stand upon. If you are not in Texas, at the moment you can find who's on your land, who whose land you are occupying, excuse me, at native-land.ca. And thank you for taking that moment with us. And I want to hand it over to Trish to go over OCA's mission and vision.
Thank you, Ria. So this program is under OCA. It's powered, presented by OCA Greater Houston. We are here to advance the social, political, economic well-being of the AAPI community, and we do this in various programs. So we launched Asian Restaurant Weeks this year, which is where we featured different AAPI local restaurant mom-pop shops, restaurant owners, and was also part of the team that raised over $100,000 to feed frontline workers while also providing revenues for the restaurants. This is the image on the right. We actually featured one of our best friends, Carlo from Dallas, and he's a pastry chef. He's amazing. And another program that we did this year that was amazing was our team outreach to over 200,000 homes all over Houston for the census and voting. We had our racial justice workshops where we used film to have deeper dialogue. We had our Happy Film Festival, which is a multi-day celebration of film, and we highlighted AAPI creatives in the film and entertainment industry. This year was the first time it was virtual. And right now you guys are witnessing our Starry Night Arts Fest. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, woo. Ria, go over the mission and vision, please, for this festival.
Sure. I just want to let folks know who we are first, real quick.
So
I know we started with the land acknowledgement, but I just want to make sure that everyone in this room knows who we are. So my name is Ria Sampillo. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a second-generation Filipino-American. I'm currently based in Houston, and I am one of the co-organizers for this wonderful Starry Night Arts Fest event and a part of the OCA Arts and Storytelling Committee. And I want to hand off to Trish.
yes, also 1.5 generation Filipino-American. Wow. In Houston, Texas, also a organizer for the Filipinx community and joined the OCA team in February. Audrey, did you want to introduce yourself, please? And we'll hand it off to the facilitators later.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Audrey, she, her pronouns. Not from Houston, originally from New York, currently in Chicago, but working for this amazing team in Houston. I primarily work with the college fellows and building out college programming, but when we introduce Evie and Vivian later, I also have the pleasure of working with them with their school, Bel Air.
Thank you so much, Audrey. And let me just get into the programming real quick for Starry Night Arts Fest. So essentially what this festival, like originally it was just a night market and it was on Corporate Drive, and now everything shifted virtually. And so, you know, a lot has happened. Obviously, it's unprecedented times, COVID. And so basically we wanted to center this particular festival around the theme of giving, right? And during this festival, we explore that in 4 different concepts: giving back to the community, giving up old habits, meaning giving up things that no longer serve you, and inviting new habits in, giving space for unheard voices, and giving yourself time to heal. So in this time, like all the creatives, all the creatives have been, you know, creating and uplifting folks, and organizers kept on organizing despite COVID, despite everything that's been happening. This is a way to say thank you to all of them, especially Amy. In my screen, she's down here, but this is a thank you because your work has uplifted many folks during this time, and you're here to share your gift and your knowledge as well. So check out our website at starrynightartsfest.com because we just had opening night. Check out our streams. So many wonderful artists and conversations that were happening the past 2 days. There's still more workshops to upcoming, and our closing night, our closing weekend. So keep with us, and we would love to see you more this whole week. So
Yes, we have a lot of workshops and live streams happening. These 2 actually happened in the past 2 nights, and we are with Miss Amy Malkan right now, and we're super excited. On the 14th, we have Keisha Manifesting Your Manuscript live stream. We have another workshop with Jack Lamb, a beginner's makeup and gender workshop. Please join us. He's amazing. He's amazing. And we have Cynthia Koo, founder of Wonton in a Million, and she's doing a project-based workshop, which is also, she's dope, y'all. And join us for a live reading with Kakalia Yang. She has so many stories, y'all. Please.
it was wonderful.
Please.
She is Hmong American, and she is a children's book author, and she has a lot of memoirs as well. Amazing, amazing woman. Please check her out.
We have a community panel featuring a lot of our community organizers that have been doing so much work in Houston. We have another workshop by Keshav Kant, Building a Bridge Between Religion, Spirituality, and Wellness on Wednesday. And then lastly, our last workshop is December 17th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. CST with Just Song.
Y'all need to go.
Yeah, please go. Yes, emotional navigation through journaling. And we have Origami with Kyle Fu. We have also the live stream on Friday night with all these amazing artists, poets, authors. And then we have yoga in the morning for Saturday, and also a film on Saturday. And our last live stream is Saturday night, giving yourself time to heal. And our film screening, we end our Starry Night Arts Fest with a film screening. Y'all, this is a lot of information, but please visit starrynightartsfest.com. All of the workshops are listed. You have to register for all the workshops. All the live streams are on OCA. Yeah, and I'm gonna hand it off to Ria.
Yes. Again, we do want to get Amy started, and I just cannot wait until we go through this workshop. She's amazing. Okay, but who's going to be helping us here tonight are our wonderful facilitators. Evie Ko is a current student at Bel Air High School. She is a part of various clubs in Bel Air, which as an editor of the school, she's an editor of the school's yearbook, founder and president of OCA BHS, Bel Air High School. OCA Bel Air High School has participated in various activities like helping with increasing voter registration, spreading information about the 2020 census, and creating workshops for youth. She loves to create films and simple animations. Okay, noted, Evie. Vivian Dye is a junior in Bel Air High School. She's an editor for her school's yearbook as well as vice president of OCA Bel Air. She also loves cats and watches Netflix in her free time. Everyone, welcome these two wonderful people, and they'll be assisting us today. And I will hand it off to Evie, who will be reviewing our house rules.
Hi everyone. Sorry I'm changing my camera right now. I'm Evie Ko, and I'm gonna go over some of the house rules. So please mute yourselves until the Q&A portion. We're doing it so that you can type anything in the chat, and we'll go ahead and ask them in real time. So please utilize the chat as well. You can also use the raised hand emoji if you want to personally ask your questions. And I'll go over some of the community guidelines right now. Please cultivate a brave space. Not only is this a safe space, but it is a brave space to foster challenge and to challenge dialogue. What is said here stays here. So what is learned here leaves here. Step up, step down. So AKA one mic, one diva. Speak one at a time and not over each other. Take care of yourself. If you need to use the bathroom, step aside and then come back. Practice engaged listening. So deeply listen to what the other folks in the room are saying and take notes in your journal. Respect different lived experiences and perspectives. Address the group, not an individual. And as a reminder, we've already said this, but just to reiterate, we are recording this. So if you want to not have your face included, you are more than welcome to turn your camera off, as well as change your name to an alias for privacy reasons. It will be posted. Oh my gosh! It will be posted on OCAGH YouTube, as well as Amy's website. I'm now going to pass it on to Vivian.
Yeah, so I know there was a lot of intro stuff, but now I'll be introducing Amy. Amy Malkan is a public artist, entrepreneur, and a community developer. She's best known for her contemporary style infused with Indian and Asian motifs within her murals and art installations. And over the past 5 years, she's facilitated the design, coordination, and production of over 30 public art projects across not only the Houston area, but around the globe, which is really cool. These projects have been co-created with the involvement of over 10,000 area youth, artists, and hundreds of community stakeholders. In her personal time, she is a mother and avid runner. She enjoys dancing, traveling, and spending quality time with her family. And if you want to follow her on any social media, we can post it in the chat, and it'll be at the end of her slideshow as well. So, Amy, take it away.
Wow, that was a really good intro. How's everyone doing today? You can unmute yourself. I'd like to hear from you guys if you feel comfortable. How is Sean, Jimena, Sam? How are we doing today? Good. Got a thumbs up from Sam. So doing pretty well. Thanks, Sean. When I facilitate, I am very interactive. I like to step away from all the formalities. I want it to be very informal, and I want to get as close and personal with each and every one of you as much as we can through Zoom, obviously. So I personally am going to kind of defy the house rules. Unless you got a lot of background noise going on, please unmute yourself.
Right, that's cool.
And please feel free to interrupt me real time while I'm speaking. So if there's something you don't understand or whatever, I want to bypass the raise hand emoji in the chat. Just be like, Amy, whatever the question is or comments. I want us to be really close with one another. So I just wanted to add that, preface that before we start. And I kind of just want to do a check-in and get to know all of you guys. So if you can, I think we already did all the introductions of the people, the OCA group that's hosting this. But if you guys feel comfortable, Sam, Jimena, Sean, if you guys can introduce yourself, you don't have to show yourself on camera, but if you can unmute and at least we can hear your voice and who you are, that would be great, and what you do and what attracted you to be here.
Hi guys, I'm Sam.
Hey Sam.
Hey, I'm Ria's cousin. So I'm supporting everything that she does, and she didn't drag me into this, but
that was my next question. So okay, cool. Well, we're happy you're here, Sam, and thank you so much for supporting Ria.
Of course.
Oh, Sam, one more question for you. What are you looking to get out of this?
I'm actually just open to learning new things. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Sam. Jimena or Sean?
I can go. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Sean. I use he, his pronouns. I'm here because Audrey actually is, she went to...
Where'd you go? You got muted, Sean.
Oh, no. Can you guys hear me again?
Yes.
Awesome. So where did I leave off?
Just start from the beginning.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sean. I use he, his pronouns. I'm here because Audrey actually advertised this in our college group chat. She went to my college, and I'm currently a senior there. So I'm always interested in AAPI, community gatherings. So this is really, really awesome during time of COVID. And I'm here particularly because I'm really interested in mindfulness and meditation. And I actually did a couple of meditations today as well. So I'm just here to really up my game and just pick up new skills along the way. So really excited for this. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. And then are you familiar with Labyrinths, or this would be completely brand new to you, Sean?
This will be almost brand new. I heard about it, but only through podcasts. So this is going to be a new experience.
Awesome. And then Jimena, I think you're the last one. Do you feel comfortable introducing yourself?
Hey, my name is Jimena Garcia. I learned about this through a club at my school. I'm in high school, Lakes for Lives. And yeah, like Sam said, I'm also just interested in learning new things.
Wow, impressive. I want to say thank you so much for you guys for having the courage to speak up, because that's one of the number one public fears is public speaking. And this, even speaking through Zoom is a form of public speaking. So thank you guys so much for having the courage to introduce yourself, and then also taking time out on a Sunday. So that's even really impressive on all of you guys to be here. So I don't want to do any more introductions. Let's get started and maximize this time that we have together. I'm going to be speaking about labyrinths and how we can use labyrinths to heal through our own personal journeys. So we'll go with the next slide. So my name is Amy Malkan. I was born here in Houston, Texas, in A-Leaf. Go SWAT, go A-Leaf people. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar from A-Leaf. We are the best group of people. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I am a visual artist. What that means is that I paint murals, and I also paint on canvases, or pretty much paint on anything I can get paint on. And I am also a labyrinth builder. So I actually build these labyrinths that we'll talk about. And I build them permanently, or I build them temporarily, like out of Post-it notes and whatever you think, rocks, you name it. I've built it out of all types of materials. And labyrinths play a really huge part in my life and my day-to-day life. And so I'll talk a little bit further about that. I've also built labyrinths in like France, South Africa, Ireland. Yeah, Audrey, we can definitely get labyrinth builder on your resume for sure. I think that would be pretty dope. And I'm also an author. I wrote a book on networking. Right now, that's probably not applicable since we can't network and meet people in real life, but hopefully it will be applicable soon and this stuff will be over. So if you're interested on how to up your networking game, it's never too late to start, even if you're in high school, because it's good for networking for college and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, you can go on my website and get my book. It's called The Tree Network. So go on the next slide. So what is a labyrinth? So I've given you all the answers here. So a labyrinth is an ancient archetype. So this labyrinth, it's not affiliated with anything. It's not affiliated with any denomination, religion, affiliations, it's not affiliated with any socioeconomic status. It's just a standalone archetype. So the very first labyrinth was a spiral. And I'll just draw a spiral on here in case you guys don't know what a spiral is. A spiral. This is the very first labyrinth. So a labyrinth has one path to enter. So can you guys see that? One path to enter, and then that same path will lead you all the way to the center. And then once you reach the center, that same path will lead you back out to the exit, okay? So that is what a labyrinth is. A lot of people mistake a labyrinth to a maze, and a lot of countries actually interchange the two words together. So I remember a few times when I was teaching in Europe, the word they use for labyrinth is labyrinto. So when I was explaining the definition that a labyrinth is different from a maze, they were like, what? No, that's the same thing, like love and like. And I'm like, no, they're two different things, because a maze is a puzzle. It's meant to throw you off your path. It's meant to confuse you. And there are a lot of dead ends. And you actually consciously have to think to decide which direction, if you're going to go straight, if you're going to make a left or a right, or go backwards and backtrack. You actually have to be conscious and aware of where you're going to go. With a labyrinth, you do not have to think, you just walk. And in our case, what we're going to do later on is we're going to use our finger instead of walking, since it's our virtual workshop. But you do not have to think in a labyrinth. It is not meant to confuse you. It's not meant to throw you off your path. It is solely meant to use for meditation. So over time, when man was, we were developing from caveman to where we are now, creativity plays a huge part in communication. And so in that process, from the spiral, there are now over 200 variations of the labyrinth archetype. And still to this day, what are they called? I lost the word. Anthropologists, I guess. I could say anthropologists or archaeologists are discovering new labyrinths and different patterns of the labyrinths. And these labyrinths are found all over. If you go to India, you go to Africa, you go to Vietnam, China, South America, you will find a labyrinth there. And how the labyrinth and those specific cultures have a meaning within that culture. It's pretty interesting. Like there is a labyrinth pattern called Man in the Maze, and that is a cultural labyrinth that is specifically known to the Native American community. And it's called Man in the Maze. So there's different variations. These labyrinths are found all over the world. We'll go to the next slide. So here I have a picture of a beach labyrinth and slash mandala pattern that I did in Galveston, Texas. Here we raked it in the sand, and it was really fun to walk it. And then I always invite strangers because they always see us kind of like see us raking in the sand, and they're like, "What are y'all doing? Crop circles?" And I'm like, "Your joke is so lame." No, I'm just kidding. But I'm like, I like to invite them in and be like, "No, we're raking a labyrinth. Would you like to join in?" And it's funny, you know, what I've noticed is that the labyrinth attracts people. It's like a mutual attraction. So like all of us were meant to be here for this workshop because there's some sort of law of attraction happening to the labyrinth. You may not leave this workshop like, "Oh my God, labyrinths, they're amazing. I can't wait to go walk one." But the seed is planted, and it may happen later on, years from now. Who knows?
Amy, have you ever thought of maybe doing one in like a crop field? Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah, so I actually got to walk one in a crop field, and that was really scary. We were in Ireland, and so that one really tests you to trust that the labyrinth, you know, you're walking that path and it will lead you to your center, and then that same path will lead you back out to your exit. Like if you see the beach labyrinth versus the labyrinth on the other side on that cloth, the cloth labyrinth is not a lot of twists and turns going on there. But if you look at the beach labyrinth, there's a lot of twists and turns there. And that's the type of labyrinth that was there in Ireland. And I started it almost towards dusk, like afternoon dusk. So then the sun went down, and I was like, oh, well, Amy, you talk about labyrinths. Like, this is the time to have faith and trust. That's a little deviation from your question, but I want to share that story really quick with you guys. It was interesting because when you're walking on these flat labyrinths, you can see the path. Like you can eye it out and be like, okay, I got to do this and this, and I can make it. But it really tests your ability to trust, be in the moment, and meditate. Like have your mind focused to meditate and not worry when you're in that kind of crop circle. Now, to answer your question, I have never built one in a crop circle, and I haven't found I haven't found a place to build one in a crop circle, and it would take a lot of work because essentially you're cutting away the path. So there would be a lot of work that I would need, like aerial, like a drone to get the aerial picture to kind of lay out where all the path would go, and then to actually physically delete that, the shrubbery or whatever, the crop out of it. And it doesn't speak to me in the moment right now. It hasn't spoken to me yet about creating one. But if you feel inspired, girl, I will consult with you and you can build one and I'll help you out. I'm totally down. But no, I have not done one yet. I also like introducing high school, middle school, high school girls, students to the labyrinth and how it can be used as a form of meditation. So this is a teen retreat that's happening that we learned about labyrinths and how we can use it to meditate, and they got to walk one, which was a lot of fun. So we'll have our own kind of experience, similar, but a little bit different. The next slide. So this is the main reason why Labyrinth is so attractive to me in my own personal journey. A lot of people will tell you in the Labyrinth community that the Labyrinth is a metaphor for our life. And it'll make more sense a little bit later when we actually create our own Labyrinth. Because we're all on our own path and our own journey. And when we stay true to our purpose, our path, who we are as people, why we're here on this earth, you will reach your goal, which is, i.e., the center of the labyrinth. And there may be twists and turns and deviations, and you may be walking along the path of the labyrinth and you see yourself getting close to the center, and then all of a sudden something happens. And in real life, to make it applicable, maybe you got a bad grade, or your car broke down, or you lost your job, or your boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with you, whatever it is. And then pulls you away from the center, and you're still, but as long as you keep staying true, you will eventually get to the center. So when you walk a labyrinth, you will eventually make it to the center. So it's not a matter of if you'll make it to the center, it's a matter of when. And so when we apply that to our life, we all have our own purpose that's unique to us only. Nobody else has the same purpose that each of us have. And if we stay true to that purpose, it may get rough at times, but if you know that you are going to get there, it's just a matter of when, not a matter of if you're going to get there, you behave and you act differently and you make decisions differently. You're not acting out of fear, but you're acting out of trust. And when you act out of trust and love, then you're going to be okay, even when your reality does not seem like it, even when everything seems stacked against you. So for me, a little bit about myself, and I like to be very open and vulnerable and transparent about my story so that it may help other people. And some of you may not identify with my story, but it may be, there may be some similar parallels. So I was in an abusive relationship for 2.5 years, and he was not physically or verbally abusive towards me, but he was mentally, psychologically, emotionally, financially abusive towards me. And I was a full-time artist when I met him, and he was a full-time artist. And so when you're in an abusive relationship, what happens is that they try to control everything and isolate you from all your support system. So my family had disowned me because I decided to have a baby with this person, and he is Black, so that was against my culture. And then I was not married, so that was also a double whammy. So my parents had disowned me. I realized that this person was not a good person, and this was not how I was supposed to be treated, but I was having a baby. I was trying to figure out a lot of things. And so when I finally decided to leave this person, my child was a year old, and I had nobody to go to, and I had no money. And I was just kind of lost. I was like, how am I going to provide for myself, for my son, and make it and start all over? And I knew that I wanted to be a full-time artist, and I knew what type of life I wanted to create for my son and for myself. And so all I did was kind of just buckle down and remind myself, like, stay true to yourself, to thine own self be true, and stay true to my purpose. And it's not a matter of if I'm going to make it, it's just a matter of when. And now I'm here. I have my own place. I have an art studio in the arts district. My son is thriving. I'm thriving. So it's possible. And so I share this story that no matter what the perception of your reality may look like, it's okay. Stay focused on whatever your plans are, your goals, not what your parents have plans for you, not what your friends have plans for you, but for yourself. Because if you're true to yourself, even if it's outside of your cultural norms or your society norms, you are going to be okay. I mean, unfortunately, so like my culture is very similar to the Asian culture. You know, my parents are now finally giving me like props, you know, like, okay, you're a full-time artist, and oh my goodness, these people are you on the news, like on Fox 26, and people are paying you to do art. And it's like, finally. And you know what? I just understand that that's just how my parents are. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you as to why the Labyrinth makes such a big impact on my life, and why I like to share the power of the Labyrinth and how other people can use it to empower them, especially during times like this when it's rough and it seems like it's a lot going on. So we'll go to the next slide. So this was where my journey started. Thank you. So this is where my journey started. I was introduced to the Labyrinth from someone from the Labyrinth community. We happened to take 20 high school students with us to Ecuador, and we built this labyrinth a permanent labyrinth out of river rocks in this spiritual retreat center in Ecuador. And it happens to be on the equator. So half of it is on the southern hemisphere and the other half is on the northern hemisphere. And this is the man in the maze pattern, because we wanted to respect the culture. So it didn't make sense for us to do, like, there's another labyrinth called, darn it, my mind just went blank. There's another labyrinth, but it's more towards the European culture. And the Shark Labyrinth, it's called Shark. It originated in Chartres, France, and it's spelled Chartes. So not sharding, like, we're not sharding, but a Chart labyrinth. And it wouldn't make sense for us to be in Ecuador creating a Chart pattern, being in a South American culture. So Man in the Maze we thought was appropriate. So 20 of those students, there was 10 adults, there's 30 of us built, and these river rocks were heavy, like 30 river rocks. So that was kind of cool. And when I was there and being with these 20 high school students, building this labyrinth together, it was such an impact, because when I was first introduced to it, kind of similar to like you guys, I was like, why are we working in circles? This is dumb. I don't like this. It's a waste of time. I can't quiet my mind. Like, it's a lot going on. And then after a few touch points, and then this being one of my touch points, I was like, wow, this is impactful. And I definitely want to integrate this in my life, and want to share it with other people. I just included, that's another photo of me in Ecuador. I just raked it really quick with my feet on the gravel at one of these historical spots. So I thought it was a really powerful energy there. So I decided to capture it in that labyrinth. You can go to the next slide. So the 4 R's, I want to talk a little bit about this, and please feel free to take notes, because we're going to use this in the remainder of this workshop. So there's the 4 R's in the labyrinth world, and then how you're supposed to walk, or in our case, do a finger labyrinth. The first R is release. So before you even walk the labyrinth or start the labyrinth, you want to release all the negativity, all the burden, all the things that are just weighing you down, all that noise and conversation that's just really it's noise at the end of the day. Just release it, let it go. And then you want to set, and I like to add this in between release and receive. I like to set an intention for myself. And my intention could be something as simple of, I would like myself to be more loving, or I would like to be a better mom, or I would like to be a better friend or a better daughter, or I would like to concentrate more on school because I want to make a goal to get into this college or get good grades for my SAT. Whatever that is for yourself and that you need clarity on, I would set that intention for yourself and then just walk the labyrinth. And there's no right or wrong way. There's no appropriate pace to walk the labyrinth. You're just walking it. You may want to skip it. You may want to dance because you're feeling kind of all flowy and you want to just kind of flow like whimsical through the labyrinth, or you're just walking, or your hands are like this. I mean, there's no right way. It's whatever you feel comfortable, and just receive whatever is coming your way. Maybe you feel like crying, receive that and let that emotion out. Maybe you want to laugh it out loud, whatever it is. And then you reach the center. So some people like to just stay in the center of that labyrinth and just receive whatever else to kind of just round it off. And some people like, okay, cool, I reached the center and now back out. So when you leave the center of the labyrinth, it's called return. You're just returning back out. I like to say when you're walking a labyrinth, you're kind of entering a parallel universe. So you're not even in Earth. So when you're returning, you're getting back to reality. You're returning back to Earth, where you're going to hear all the noise, and it's learning how to almost put blinders on. Like, those horses that are, the carriage horses that are downtown, they all have blinders. And the reason they have blinders is so that they don't get distracted from all the noise and they stay focused on their path. And it's almost like that. It's like, okay, you're about to return back to reality. You're going to get a lot of noise. Put your blinders on so you stay focused on your path. And then I like to reflect. What was that experience like for me? Was it good? Did it bring up some emotions? Do I want to dive deep into those emotions? Do I not want to dive deep into those emotions because I don't have the emotional bandwidth or capacity to do so at this moment, but I am aware that it's there and I will touch it a little bit later? Or maybe I need to use a different method. Like, I know that workshop that's coming up, the journaling workshop, maybe afterwards I need to journal this out. So you know, there's always different ways of reflecting on your experience. Maybe you need to paint it out and get some paint on your hands and just go crazy. Like, it's however you choose to reflect it, or maybe you want to talk it out with somebody. So that is the way that I would say, not only to do a labyrinth, but any like meditation form. And it could be where if you want to sit quietly or maybe just listen to music or do yoga, I would practice these 4 R's with any type of form of meditation that you use. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Here's a labyrinth that I did with 2 other artists. It's actually at the George R. Brown Convention Center. So go check it out. It's all made with mosaic tile. And we sourced the tile from the community of Houston. And I actually created a time capsule because everyone that came in and donated their tile had a story as to what that tile meant for them. So if you can see that really small blue labyrinth all the way on the right, like middle right of the screen, it's the only solid navy blue labyrinth. So in the center, there's a gold bordered plate. That is someone's wedding china. Someone gave her an odd numbered wedding china, and it was just sitting there. And so then she was like, what better way than to give you my wedding china and have it immortalized? And her husband is deceased. And so to honor her marriage, she donated her wedding china. So there's a lot of cool little stories in there. If you want, maybe OCA, one day we can do a labyrinth walking meditation and then go and check this out. I can share the stories, who knows, when, you know, COVID is over. So ideas. Anyways, next one. Okay, so we're gonna draw our very own labyrinth. I'll give you all a second. Get a piece of paper and a pen, and I guess let me know when you guys are ready. Trisha's ready. We're all good. I'm going to get started because I've got like 15 minutes left. And I want to respect everyone's time. So I know we're supposed to end at 5:30, but let me know if it's okay if we can go a little bit over, like 10 minutes over. I think we should be okay. Just let me know. But if you have to jump off, I totally get it. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. So here are the instructions of one of the labyrinths. This is called a seed labyrinth. So we're gonna, before we get started on this one, we're gonna do a simple one from, actually no, we'll do this one, and then I'll show you another one that's a little bit more intricate than this one. So on your paper in the middle, draw a plus sign. And then you want to draw 4 dots, 1 dot in each corner. Once you've drawn the dots on each corner, you're going to take the top part of your plus sign and draw a semicircle connecting to the dot on your right-hand side, the top right-hand dot. Once you've done that, you're going to then start on the left top corner on that dot and bring it all the way around to the plus sign on your right-hand side. Then we're going to start on the left-hand side of the plus sign and connect that all the way around to the bottom right-hand dot. Then we're going to take the very last step is we're going to take the left bottom dot and connect it all the way around to the bottom of that plus sign. So right here we have a seed labyrinth. Does everyone want to show their labyrinth on camera? Let's see. Good job, Red. Good job, Trisha. Let's see, I'm going to do it down. I know we aren't showing your cameras, but it's all good. All right, so let me know if we need to slow down. So now all you need to do is take your finger and we're going to start at the entryway, which is on the bottom, and just go follow the path and see if you made it all the way to the center. And then once you reach the center, come all the way back out. And if you were able to do it without any hiccups, then you have made yourself a finger labyrinth. Yay. All right, so we're gonna get, if you have, I would get another piece of paper. And we're gonna make another one. And it's gonna be a little bit different than this one that we made. Just to let you know, so in the labyrinth world, we talk about labyrinths and circuits in terms of size. And circuit means the number of paths. So let me draw this one for you so that I can show you. I should have drawn that bigger, darn it. All right, so this is the labyrinth. This is, I'm just gonna write it out here. We don't ever count the center, but I've numbered the paths here, and you can see 1, 2, and 3. So this would be considered a 3-circuit seed pattern labyrinth. So I said there was over 200 labyrinth archetypes, like patterns. Every one of those labyrinths have a name, and this particular pattern is called a seed pattern. And when we say 3-circuit in the labyrinth world, they know it's a pretty small labyrinth for the most part. So now what we're going to draw, I believe, is a 7-circuit seed pattern. And also, just a cool fact, all the circuits for the labyrinths are always in odd numbers. You'll never hear like a 10-circuit or 12-circuit. They're always in odd numbers. So the next one we're going to draw, I'm going to draw a plus sign again on your paper. And instead of putting 4 dots on each corner, we're going to do 4 L's. And let me draw it out, and I'm going to show you what those L's look like. So you're going to do this first. So once we get those 4 L's on the corners, then we're going to do those dots. So I don't know if any of you guys are pattern people or can recognize the pattern, but we'll test it out and see if you recognize the pattern here. So we're going to start again at the top of the plus sign. And instead of connecting it to the dot to your right, we're going to connect it to the top of that L, like this. So can anyone guess where I'm going to start and where I'm going to end? What is the next step? Where am I starting and where am I ending?
Would it be that right side of the cross to the dot on the top left?
Well, we're moving from left to right, so we would switch it out. So we would start, I think that's what you meant, so that we're going to start at the top of that left L and end on that right dot, like this. I probably on when I'm showing the screenshot, that's probably opposite in direction, I'm assuming. So then, does anyone know? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think you're good. I think it's
the right, left and right? Okay. So then where do we start next? I'll give you another hint, because remember, we're moving from left to right, left to right. So if we start again, I would be starting on that left dot, upper dot, and I would come all the way around and connect it to the next available open spot, which is that L on that top right-hand corner. So far you should have this drawn on your paper. I would give you guys a prize, whoever would get it, but I don't know how to give a prize through Zoom. So what is the next, what's the next step? Where do we go?
the right hand cross to the I don't know to where, but yeah, the right, going to the left.
So we actually would start on that bottom L.
Oh.
That's the first. That bottom, that L that is on that top, the left, I mean the left corner, that L.
Uh-huh.
And it comes all the way around to that right-hand side of that cross, or that plus sign.
I think I got it.
Who said that?
Evie.
Evie, you got it? You finished it? Let's see.
I think so.
Let's see what you got,
I think
girl.
so.
Hey, Audrey, no cursing. Just kidding. I've been so good. I haven't cursed this entire time. I did
I messed up.
I think I did warn Trisha, and I was like, oh, man, I cursed. I can't promise anything, but I did good so far. I haven't cursed at all. So where did you mess up? Who said they messed up?
Me.
Trisha?
Yeah. It's okay.
Where did you mess up?
I think I messed up with the
what you said originally with the cross. It's okay. We can just start back all over.
I got it. Yeah, I'll do that.
It's going to be very top heavy, so just remember, leave enough room to. I did not leave enough room, but basically it's going to look something like this. I had to draw over my other labyrinth because I was a little too top heavy. I didn't leave enough room. So do you want me to start over again and show you guys how to do it again? Let me find more paper.
Need a thing.
Let's start over.
Ooh, I think I got it.
You got it?
With my second iteration.
Awesome. Okay, does everyone have it, or does anyone need me to do it again? Because I can do it again.
Please do it again.
Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, again, draw a cross. Remember, leave enough room on the top because it's top heavy, this one. And then instead of doing dots on all fours, we're going to draw an L on each corner like this.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to do our dots on all four corners like this. All right, so I'm going to move on to the line. So we're going to start at the top of that plus sign and curve it around to, we're always going to go from left to right. So from the left, so the top of that plus sign, we're going to go towards our right and end at the top of that L that we did on the corner. So you should have a tiny little loop action like this. Then the next available start point on your left-hand side is that top of that L on the left. And the next available end point will be the dot on the top dot on your right-hand side. So then you should have this right here. Then the next available starting point is the dot on the top left. And we're going to wrap it all the way around and end at the bottom L on the top right-hand corner. So far you should have something like this. So then the next one is the bottom of the top L on your left-hand corner. And it wraps all the way around, connecting to the right side of the plus sign. Then you're going to start on the left side of your plus sign and wrap it all the way around to the top part of the L on the bottom right corner. Does everyone need me to still talk it out? If so, it's okay. Or you guys got it? Since I don't hear anything, I'm assuming everyone got it. Oh, keep going, Audrey. Okay. So then the next one is the bottom L on your left-hand side, the top part of your bottom L. Wrap it all the way around, connecting to the bottom dot on your right-hand side. Then you're going to take the bottom dot on the left side and connect it all the way around to the bottom L on your right-hand side. And then you take the bottom L of your left side and connect it all the way down to the bottom of that cross or the plus sign. Oh, thanks, Sam. Thanks for joining in. Sad you're missing out, but you can catch the rest of it later once it's recorded. I'm just letting you guys know I have to go downstairs and get my power cord because I thought it was fully charged, but my battery is running low. So now we have a finger labyrinth. Can anyone tell me how many circuits this labyrinth is based on what I told you on how to count? Yeah, mommy home. Mommy's gonna come right back, okay?
Oh, that's good. Come here, come here.
Stay downstairs. Yeah, stay downstairs. Mommy's working, okay? Yes, mommy's working. Mommy has to go bye-bye. You can't come, baby. Invite only. You're not invited, my baby. Sorry, baby. Uh-oh, y'all hear him crying? Oh, shit. It's okay, Zenny. Mommy has to go. Okay, stop crying. Okay, go ask Nanny for chocolate milk. Sorry, guys. Go ask Nanny for chocolate milk. Okay. All right, so how many circuits is this labyrinth?
I got 7.
Perfect, you got it. This is a 7-circuit. Awesome, yes, 7-circuit finger labyrinth. So in real life, I'm gonna shut this door just in case he tries to come up here. Awesome, great job, guys. So we'll go to the next slide.
It looks like our brain.
It looks, oh, I'm so glad you said that. You reminded me. So a lot of people, a lot of people are attracted to the labyrinth all over the world. And I believe the reason why these people are attracted to the labyrinth is because we actually carry it within ourselves. So there is a labyrinth that we carry. Does anyone know? A lot of people say the brain, but a brain could be a labyrinth, but there is a labyrinth that is on us. Do you know where?
Is it our meridian lines on our body or no? No?
I mean, it could be abstractly, but for the sake of time, I'm going to give you all the answer. It's our spiral on our fingertip is our own unique labyrinth, our own unique personal labyrinth, because we have a spiral right there, which is the very first labyrinth that man created. So if you take a fingerprint, you actually have your very own unique labyrinth that's just yours. Like this is the Rhea labyrinth, the Vivian labyrinth. So anyways, I think because we already carry labyrinths within ourselves, even some people say the cochlea inside your ear also looks like a labyrinth. So the brain you mentioned, Rhea. I mean, so there's so many different variations. Like some people even say our DNA, like the DNA helix, can almost look like a labyrinth that, freak out, Audrey, freak out, let it out, it's all good. That I think that's the reason why man started drawing a labyrinth, because they already knew it spiritually within ourselves. And then yeah, started creating variations because we're innately, naturally, we're all creative people by nature. We are creative in different forms. So anyways, how do we use this labyrinth through meditation? I kind of hinted about it through the 4 R's. So I kind of want us to do like a mini, how much time do we have left? Do you guys have 10, 15 minutes left in y'all's schedule? I can continue this on?
Yes.
Are we okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Bye, Evie. Thank you so much for coming through. So I want you guys to right now take time to quiet your mind and list out all the negative emotions, burdens, thoughts, conversations that are kind of weighing you down. We're going to just take this time to quiet ourselves. And I want you can either, okay, bye, Vivian, thank you, either to write it out or just think about it. And once you've done that, well, let me know, and then we'll go on to the next step. So I'll just give a few minutes to. Okay, so from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna clear out all those thoughts, let it go, leave it in another space. What we're gonna do is we're gonna walk the labyrinth that you just created, the 7-circuit one, with your finger. So before you start, I want you to kind of center yourself, put both feet on the ground. If your feet are crossed or your feet are propped up, put both feet on the ground flat. Sit up straight. I want everyone to take a deep breath in. Let it out. Take another deep breath in through your nose and let it all out through your mouth. Last one, take a deep breath in. Let it out. Go ahead and set your intention. And then once that intention is set, go ahead and walk the labyrinth with your finger.
Today, I will accept myself just as I am. I will reaffirm that I am a beautiful person, just as I am. Today, I will accept myself just as I am. I will reaffirm that I am a wonderful person, just as I am. Today, I will accept myself just as I am. I will love myself just as I am. Today, I will say to the infinite divine being, the mystery that we call God, thank you, God, for making me just as I am. Knowing this, I will see the world just as it is. I will accept the world just as it is. And in the clarity of that awareness, I will feel peace, harmony, laughter, and love.
Okay. We'll go to the next slide. So if you feel comfortable, I would love to hear from you as to what you felt, what your experience was, and it's whatever your experience, there's no right or wrong. And it doesn't have to be like this heartfelt thing. Maybe it's like, it was cool, it was something neat I did. I don't know if I felt anything. That's also okay too. This is your experience and your feelings. So they are all right and validated here. So if anyone wants to share, you're welcome to, and if not, no big deal.
I'll share.
Cool.
I think when I first started, like going into it, I was purely concentrating. It was harder for me to leave it. There was more hesitation when I was leaving. Going into it, I was in pure focus, and it got to the center. But as I was leaving, it was more. I had more stops for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
And would you say like maybe the path, like the thickness or the thinness of the path maybe also played a part in it, because you're also kind of having to see where your finger is going? Did you think that, or not at all? It had everything maybe to do with your thoughts, or?
I didn't even think about it like that. was just trying to get out of it because that was the next step, I guess. So then for me, I was like, oh, why am I hesitating? That was the first thing that came up. Because the first time when I went in, I was just like following it, kind of having fun with it. But when I was leaving it, I was then distracted and I was like, okay, why am I like, you know, I don't know. That's what came up. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing.
For me, like as I was entering, I just noticed like how my body was, and I felt like it was a bit more intuitive for me when I was entering, and so I felt my body kind of like swaying as my finger was moving through, and then like once I hit the center and I was coming back out, that's when I paused actually to more times because I feel like I got more focused as I was coming out, and like I actually was mindful of the thickness because I was just like, I need to find my way out kind of thing. And I just noticed also I had to take a breath as on my way out because I felt like when I entered, I felt like I was breathing fine. And then when I was exiting, I was like, hold on, I'm not breathing. So let me take a moment and allow myself to breathe because we gotta finish, you know? So
Wow. Thanks, Rhea. Audrey or Jimena, do you want to share? If not, totally fine. You can just give me like a thumbs up or something saying you're good if you don't want to share. Cool. Thanks, Jimena. I'll assume the same for you, Audrey. Oh,
I think for me, I found it really hard to concentrate because I was very focused on like the actual making of the labyrinth. Like my lines were not like some parts of my lines, they weren't like parallel. So like some sections of my labyrinth are thicker than others. And so from like an aerial shot, it looks like the right side of my labyrinth is much wider than the other. So I kept focusing on the imperfections of my labyrinth as opposed to just the process of walking.
Wow, that's powerful. You know, so, and thank you for sharing, Audrey. I really appreciate it. You know, I personally, because I've been doing this for so long, I love watching people walk, or in this case, even doing the finger labyrinth, because it's parallel of our personality. Like how we walk the labyrinth is parallel to who we are. So would it be safe to say, Audrey, that because you mentioned that you were noticing the imperfections of your labyrinth, that in your day-to-day life, when you're completing tasks or projects, rather than celebrating the accomplishment of doing whatever it was, because you finished it and you did it and it was a big achievement, you're nitpicking and kind of almost discrediting your work because you're noticing the flaws of whatever the task or the project that you completed. Would that be safe to say, Audrey?
Yes, that's me all the time. People are always like, but you just did this amazing thing. And I'm like, yeah, but I could have done this part better, or like done this differently, as opposed to exactly like you're saying, like celebrating the wins.
Yeah. That's the kind of the beauty of the labyrinth is, you know, noticing those things and seeing where it parallels in your life and things that you can take away and give yourself a high five to, or things that you're like, you know what, these are areas and room for improvement in whatever aspects of my life. The labyrinth is very much like is parallel to all areas of your life. So, and the beauty, and I touched about this a little bit earlier, is that with the labyrinth, when you're actually, if you guys decide to want to walk one, there are a gazillion in Houston that you can walk that are secluded and that would be COVID friendly, that you don't have to worry about, you know, having too many people there. And if you guys are open, I would love to facilitate a labyrinth walk where we can be 6 feet apart and have our mask on. And we can set something up, Trish and Rhea, offline later on, maybe next year or something. But go to the labyrinthlocator.com. It's a worldwide website. Let me type it into the chat box. Yes, there are natural labyrinths. Labyrinth Locator. I think that should be, let me look at it on my phone. Type in your zip code and you will be able to find the closest labyrinth to you. Labyrinth. Yep, that's it. So then locate a labyrinth, that little box right there. You can just put in your zip code and yeah, I should find at the register. I think search radius. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Perfect. There we go. These are all labyrinths that are close within that. Some may be, let me see on yours. St. Paul, yeah, St. Paul's, I like that one, the St. Paul's Methodist Church, the one that your cursor's over. I like to walk that one. It's not far from the museum.
Oh my God, I've been there multiple times, Amy. I didn't even notice it. Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's outside, so you don't need to ask for permission. It's open to the general public. And that is that particular design is a European design. It's called the Shark Labyrinth. So what makes it a Shark Labyrinth is this half moons that are around the edge of the labyrinth, and then there's a flower pattern that's in the middle. My other favorite one, yeah, the St. Thomas one is a really beautiful one because the water fountains are right next door, so it makes for great sound. Yeah, but as you can see, there's a gazillion labyrinths here all over Houston. So if you have the desire to walk one, I've given you the tools to utilize. If you don't want to, it's okay. You just walk it and create your own unique experience of walking a labyrinth. I kid you not, anytime I find myself like down or I'm like lost about something or I don't have answers, I'll naturally walk a labyrinth myself. It just helps me clear my mind. It's not like all of a sudden it's like, oh, Eureka, aha, I've got the answer. I can solve COVID. Like, it's not like that, but it just gives me more clarity. It gives me peace. And I think a lot of people gravitate to using a labyrinth for meditation because sometimes it's difficult to just sit there like Indian style and humming and quieting your mind. But by walking, you feel like you're doing something and you're naturally able to quiet your mind just naturally, just by walking this labyrinth. So I think that's why a lot of people gravitate to using a labyrinth through meditation because they can quiet easily by just walking one. So yeah, I hope that you've learned some things about the labyrinth, how you can use it, another toolkit while you're practicing mindfulness and wanting to meditate. Let me go to the next slide. Yeah, so that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation and had some space to kind of release certain things that may have been bugging you or been on your mind. And I know that this is probably not the ideal way of walking or doing a finger labyrinth, but at least the seed has been planted and you have an idea of how you can use it. And so if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on Facebook or on Instagram at Amy Malkan. If you want to shoot me some comments or whatever, please, you can email me at amy@amymalkan.com. I also have my website. You can reach me on my website. That's my direct line. And I would really love for it with you guys if you could leave a review about this workshop on my Facebook business page, which is Amy Malkan Art, would be really amazing and helpful from you guys. And yeah, thank you so much for spending this hour with me. I really enjoyed having this space with you guys. And I'll let Maria close it out.
Thank you so much, Amy. I really appreciate that. I'm definitely going to check out the labyrinths in Houston. I always see the St. Paul one, actually. I didn't even realize it was a labyrinth. That's kind of, wow.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's a hidden gem.
I know. We'll definitely leave you a review. Thank you so much for taking the time. Do you want to close?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm just super grateful you were able to share your practice and your knowledge with us today. I am so fascinated. My mind is like churning right now because Amy, I'm probably going to talk to you more about this. I have so many ideas and I'm just excited to walk a labyrinth even and set my, just because there's a lot of things I need to clear up personally. And so I really feel like this is an amazing tool. And thank you again for sharing it with us.
Thank you for having me.
I need a, like I said, I'm stuttering right now because there's so many thoughts happening in my head.
Awesome.
Super fascinated. Oh, beautiful. But yes, let's close out because it is recording. But like Amy said, please follow her on her Instagram, her Facebook, leave a comment and how you were impacted by this wonderful workshop. And yeah, we'll keep in touch, definitely. Just a really quick plug in. Oh yes, this is Amy's, all of her contacts. Please support her. She's an amazing artist. Also, can you tell us like where your studio is located, so we can, look at more of your works? And
yeah, so my studio is in the Arts District. It's in the silos at Sawyer Yards. So geographically, it's off of I-10 and Sawyer Street, and I'm in the silos. And then my address is on both my Facebook business page and my Instagram. So you can find my studio address there. It's by appointment only. We do second Saturdays, which means that every second Saturday of every month, all the studios are open in the Arts District for you to come by and check out local art and artisans. So the last one of the year just passed by yesterday, but we will start back up in January.